What is going on, collectors? Optical 20 back for another video review. Today we're going to take a look at Green Goblin Deluxe Edition from Hot Toys, and you can order this. I think it's still on pre-order at bigbadtoystore.com. I'll put the link down below. They are available. I don't think they're available now, but they're available for pre-order. I know it's sold out for a hot minute, and then all of a sudden some of the retailers got him back in stock. I always kind of suspicious about that sold out on this Green Goblin, especially where it has two SKUs, and there's a potential one, not potential one, that I don't know, of a better version coming out, like the final suit that he used. So 3 goblins out there. But let's take a look at this guy right here. The box looks awesome. It's huge though. It's in a bigger size, the same size as Doc Ock. So if you are keeping these boxes in your garage or attic, just to let you know, it's almost the size of 2 regular MMS. But this is the deluxe. It does have the the glider, so that is expected. The box is beautiful, kind of consistent with the No Way Home theme here. Could you use this as a backdrop? It's massive. The art box looks good, but let's be honest here. This is all gonna go to back to the shipper box somewhere in the attic, garage, or wherever it might be. So takes up a large footprint, as you can see here. The base is somewhat decent. It's the normal base that they use. So I'm pretty sure if you do get the regular version, you know what? I haven't seen a review of the regular version. I'm pretty sure you're gonna get the same base, but is it gonna be a crotch grabber or the dynamic pull stand? Because why would you use the dynamic pull then? But as you can see here, so there is a third party of this. Came out years ago, the Toys era, the Fiend. That still looks pretty good, although I wouldn't swap a Hot Toy for a third party ever, regardless if it's the Fiend, Doc Ock, Cable, whatever the case may be. And this is the glider. Man, God, this glider is, if we're going by the price, this is like $90, which is a pretty good price considering this is a quote-unquote vehicle/diorama piece, and if you buy a third-party diorama nowadays, $90 is not bad at all. But you can see all the accessories that it comes with. I can imagine if you don't have the glider, it's probably, kind of not that much outside of the head sculpt. So hands, we'll talk a deep dive on the accessories here. So you have, this is kind of like a bad guy gesture hands, as I want to call this. More of a evil, kind of like grasping hand. As you can see, the paint is consistent throughout the suit. It has that rubbery feel to it, and that is like the bomb holding hand, as you can see here. And the bomb is painted pretty well. Even in hand, it looks like it's lit up, as you can see here. What do you call this bomb anyway? Pumpkin bomb or something? I don't know. But yeah, this is made to hold these, as you can see here. I'm doing one hand here because the other one's on the camera. It's nice. It has a dedicated hands for that. You have the thing to adjust the purse, and this is the color, which is a bit lower, which is cool. So the neck would show up. You see that? Otherwise, it'll be like Spider-Man back in the day, where he does have a turtleneck, which is not the case because of his mask and all that. And this is the beautiful head sculpt of Willem Dafoe. And honestly, initially, I didn't see the gap for the rolling eyeball system. As you can see there in the back, it does have a magnet, so you can attach it there. It is well hidden that I was like, oh man, this is cool. But yeah, very controversial head sculpt, which we are gonna dive into later on the segment of the review. But let's focus on the glider, the biggest accessory by far. And again, if you purchase this, because if you do purchase the non-deluxe, I think $90 is the difference. So basically this is 90, which is not bad at all. The paint application when you hold it, it's bigger than what you think it is. I don't know what I was thinking when I got this, but in my mind, the only way I would get the non-glider is if I would get the final version as well, where he doesn't have the mask, because that one came with a glider. So I'm thinking to myself, all right, you know what? If I'm gonna get that, which I'm not sure if I will or won't, then I won't need two gliders because that would take up a massive amount of space in my display. But I decided I'll probably won't go for that. I'm banking on a third party doing the outfit and some accessories for that so we can convert this. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But going back to the glider, man, this has a lot of details in it. It does light up, and as you can see there, the pistons underneath do work. The silver paint is beautiful. It gives you this metallic feel. You see the missiles underneath. You see the pistons properly functioning. It's probably scary. The scariest part, honestly, is the hinges here at the foot peg where you remove them, because it is quite a task. It is scary at first, but once you get it undone, you'll be fine. So you just put a little bit of muscle to it. Don't be scared. Just pull it out. And this is the battery compartment, and then that's the switch on and off. I didn't put it on for the majority of the review because you can barely see it because it's underneath and it's in the back. So it's just like, you know what, I'll skip that part. Plus, it would confuse my green screen anyway. But beautifully painted, nicely detailed. You see on the back burners here, you got some dark spots where the smoke is coming out. But overall, can't be any happier with this glider. And this is the base with the two bombs that I'll show you where to store them. And the base, how it works is that you get two folds in here. You get that circular hole, and then you just kind of attach it. You don't have to screw it in. And then there is a peg that if you wanted to, you can attach Green Goblin to secure him in that pole as well. You don't really have to, but I guess if you are putting him in a more dynamic position, it's safer to do it that way. So let me just demonstrate it to you. So yeah, you put it on the side, and so you could see the extension, and then you just kind of insert it just like so, and there it is. You just kind of just attach it, and then you put Green Goblin on the top, and there he is. Now let's take a look at the armor / suit for this guy. So the armor pieces are made out of rubber, which is separately attached into the figure. The actual suit is made out of that, like from the legs up, it's made out of that kind of like, I don't know, kind of hard rubber / plastic. So you'll see it on the articulation part. There's some challenges if you're trying to articulate this guy. Nice detail on the side of his arm. As you can see, it's like a hybrid. On the elbows, you got that stretchy fabric with a little bit of rubber on the side. Not a big fan of that, honestly. On the side of his suit, the camera's trying to focus really hard on all of the things that he does have in here. I like those kind of like yellow rivets, and then his Nike foam sights, I forgot. It is, I think Penny Hardaway wore the shoes that they just made green. But yeah, on the back part here, it's like regular pants, but the paneling are rubber. So again, there's some restrictions when it comes to posing them, especially on the legs area. Going up here, you see the stitching on the back, well hidden, because no one displays their figure facing the backside anyway. I would say the chest piece to the neck piece, that kind of like rubbery suit from his neck armor, it's velcroed. So you could just initially it's kind of tight, but you'll find a way to wiggle it out if you're gonna put the unmasked head sculpt on. And going down here, you can see the suit material, again, pretty consistent. Aesthetic wise, it looks great. It's just not functional. Maybe is the right word that I'm trying to find here. But look wise, no doubt, it is definitely Green Goblin. Head sculpt. So we'll start off with the mask one first. This is what sold me from this or the final suit that he does have. The lack of mask, because this is pretty iconic. I love that movie from the 2000s, so I gotta have his look like this, even though that one is more of a comic book version, and I'm talking about the last version, the final version of Green Goblin, because he does have the hoodie with the goggles on. That's more of an homage to the comic book version. This you could pair up once the Tobey Maguire Hot Toys releases. So you can pair them up and have that moment from Spider-Man 1. And this is iconic. I mean, and the shape is great compared to, I would say, the Toys era version. I've seen comparison, and you can see the mesh. I think this is the biggest difference. You can kind of see his mouth inside, and if you remove the mask, you can see that there's a mouth plate compared to the Toys era version where it's just black. So you can see the mesh down there, and it does have the face. Is he laughing inside? I don't know. I would love to have the eyes a bit more reflective, because I think that's what his eyes were. More kind of like mirrored. So let's take a look at his face here. This is the best face that I can see where he's smiling. It's not really a reflection of what he does here, but the angles are also not right. But hey, that's the most I could do. Here you go. A lot of controversies on this face. He looks happy, and he is happy more than a maniacal smile. I don't know what went wrong, but I'm still pretty happy with this, because on my thumbnail, if you see it, if you angle this down and then you put the eyes up, he does have that maniacal look, especially when you put the lights above his head. I think it's the eyebrows that made him look like he's just happy, because I know what they're trying to portray here, that he's like the sadistic smile / laugh that he's doing, right? I get it. It didn't came up that way, especially in some look. However, it still looks pretty good, in my opinion. As you can see here, looks nice. The teeth, the definition, I mean the details on that is phenomenal. You can see the tongue, the lines on his face. Everything looks good. You know what? Even the eyes, I would say even the eyes. I think it's the eyebrows that if you slanted it down, he'd look more evil. Because that's what we're trying to go for, like the evil look. If you make him look down and you put the eyes up, which I didn't do it here, but I did it on the thumbnail. But I'll give you a different perspective on the light. You see that? That's a lot better. Like I didn't even touch the eyes yet, but you get what I'm trying to say here. Now, let's go to the articulation. The head, it could go up really well. So if he's flying and all that stuff, you could do that process. The elbows, these panels are made out of, are attached via Velcro. So you could remove them, position it if you want, and then attach them right back. That is an option. The elbows can actually bend pretty far. So that's nice. That's a nice movement right there past 90 degrees. Be careful on those rubber materials though. I'm not going to leave them for too long. The waist, because of the armor plating, non-existent. You see that? I wish there was a separation on the legs so you can move them a bit freely. The knees can bend pretty well. There's ankle movements as well. You can see the hole on his shoe to insert the peg on the glider. The arms can move forward and on the side, not as well as I want to, but it's not a big deal. You can move him forward there. There's some, you're gonna struggle a little bit, but I wish they engineered, especially the legs, a little bit more, because the legs are vital for posing him in the glider. You see that? I wish there was a separation right here on the legs area where you kind of tuck it in, so there's more freedom especially when he's in the glider, because the poses that they put on the prototype shots, you probably could do it, but it's hard. Let's pull some poses with him. Here is one of them. So, like I said, this is fairly new. I haven't broken him yet. Trying to break in the figure. That's what I'm trying to say here. When I get him, move the joints around, but I don't know. I'm having some difficulties on the legs. I'm trying to get the proper settings for that. But here is a good pose where he's holding the mask, smiling like a devil, looking handsome right there. I like the head sculpt, man. I don't know. So this is one of those poses that I was talking about. The arms can extend this way. I want him to make a like a baseball throw of some sort, but it's a bit difficult, not gonna lie. So this is the most that I'm kind of comfortable with right now, till I get more time to play around with him and know, But I tried. This is I would say the safest bet you could get without potentially damaging your figure. Try to move the hips and the waist on the side, and this is another one right here that looks cool, but it's not what you saw on like the prototype pictures. Could you do that? Yeah, but I don't know. If you're brave enough, you could, meaning bend, because if you bend the knees, that means that's gonna put pressure on the upper thigh area, and I don't know if I'm comfortable doing that as of yet. But yeah, this is him. As you can see, I'm not using the pole that is included to attach him. I feel confident enough, even moving in a circular motion here, that he's not gonna fall down. But final thoughts on this figure. I think it's a must-have, especially if you are a Spider-Man fan. Are we gonna get another? Can you do some improvements? Of course, especially on the suit construction, where you see this pose on the box. I don't think you can do that on the figure itself. And I'm not saying this is the figure, but it's gonna be hard to pull off without potentially damaging the suit. That is my biggest, I would say, gripe about this figure, is the lack of articulation on the legs. But other than that, aesthetically, it looks good. What it comes with, the head sculpt, could be better, could have had some improvements, sure, but this is the best version that we have right now, or maybe we would have ever. Spider-Man is Spider-Man 1 and No Way Home. Love both of those movies. So for me, a must-have. The only question to me prior to purchasing this is that, do I need the multiple Green Goblins? So far, the answer would be this. If I have to choose with just one, as much as I love the look for the new one that's coming out, is it the new Goblin suit or whatever? As much as I love that look, I think I'm getting my money's worth more on this one because of the helmet alone. That is the only one. I think the suit is better on the other one. He looks more articulated too. Maybe they'll improve the suit over time, and he does come with more. But one thing he doesn't come with is this iconic helmet that I just needed to have. Who knows? Maybe they'll make a kit to kind of convert this, kind of like the goggles, the hoodie, and whatever straps that he does have on this armor. But for now, I'm extremely happy to have them in my collection, and I hope you find that the same way too. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.